Welcome to the Book Party Podcast. Join us as we journey into the world of books with Michael T. Prepare to be captivated by engaging interviews, insightful discussions, and fascinating stories. You'll discover new adventures and gain insight into the creative process of the authors themselves as they share their struggles and accomplishments. Now let's hear from Michael T.
Hello, this is Michael T., and I thank you for being with us today. May I ask you to go to the bookpartypodcast.com. That's the bookpartypodcast.com. Hit the subscribe tab, then enter your email for our free newsletter so that you can keep up to date with the upcoming episodes of the show. Now, let me introduce you to today's guest. It's Lisa Jacovsky and her book, Purrrfect, As I Am. Lisa currently is a professor of psychology at Union College and is working on her psychology doctorate in school psychology. Lisa began her writing short stories when she was 7 years old. Writing is a passion for her and one of many things she enjoys to do. She's currently the author of award-winning first 3 books in Let's Talk series. Lisa, why don't you take it from there and tell our guests a little bit more.
Thank you so much for having me. You have a great radio voice. Absolutely. As you said, I am the author of the Let's Talk series, which promotes autism and friendship. Each book is a different social issue and tackles a different activity that the 2 best friends go on. It's a great way to show families a different view of autism and to show that their child can do it too. I also am the author of the Esco Cat Brothers, the first book in the Cat Brothers series, and Purrrfect, P-U-R-R, As I Am, that just came out as well, about special needs cats. Both of those books were illustrated by the amazing individuals at Brainstorm Productions, and they happen to have autism. They are so incredible. They actually did my next book that comes out in August, a beautiful Halloween book, and they're going to do all of the books in the Cat Brothers series too. So it's very, very exciting right now.
That's fantastic because, with more attention bring to autism in a positive way is really good. Are you a self-publishing author or an agency author, indie author? How do you work?
I am currently an independent author, or self-published as people like to say, but I also have one book called Happy Thoughts, Going to the Aquarium. It's a spinoff of Let's Talk, and it's actually from Emma, who has autism, her point of view, and that was picked up by Pennant Publications, a traditional publisher, and will hopefully be out next year. Got to stay tuned for more information on that one.
Wow, that's great. So in the self-publishing part, were you using like any ghostwriters or anything like that, or did you actually write it yourself?
Oh, my stuff is all written by myself. I wrote everything. I did the titles. The only thing that I was helped with was the title for Happy Thoughts. My boyfriend came up with that, and he is amazing. He came up with an idea for a spinoff from Purrrfect. There's going to be another brand new series starring the kitties from Purrrfect, Bender and Bo, who are special needs, and they are going to solve mysteries. But other than that, everything is all me. No AI, no ghostwriter, all me.
I know when I did my first book, I took a crack at doing the cover, and I just did a terrible job. So I had to get me a cover artist to do that cover, and it came out fantastic. And since then, I don't even try to do a book cover.
I don't blame you. I can't draw for my life.
What was your worst author moment? And take us to a point in time of what you would consider your worst author moment and tell us a little story about that.
Oh, absolutely. My first book is called Let's Talk, A Story of Autism and Friendship. And very first book ever, very first book published. And I got, for my first review, a 1-star. 1-star review. And it was a really mean review saying that my book was tone deaf to the autism community. And mind you, I know I don't have autism, but I do have almost 10 years experience working in the community. So I was honestly heartbroken. That was something I will never, ever forget. I've gotten plenty of amazing reviews after, thank goodness. But I always, ever since then, because it was my first ever, I still get nervous when I get reviews. I get nervous to go look at them. So yeah, because I mean, you never know like what you're gonna get. And I know bad reviews are part of the job, but my first ever review, I was honestly heartbroken. So that is something I will never ever forget.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, that can be really depressing and heartbreaking, especially when it's your first review.
Yeah,
Okay,
first ever.
yeah, as an author, have you ever had, and you don't even have to be writing at the time, you could be doing anything, and all of a sudden you have this epiphany, this
Uh-huh.
wow, and you got to run somewhere and write it down. Have you ever had that kind of moment?
Oh my gosh,
And
all the time. That's actually how I wrote Let's Talk, my first book. I actually wrote it when I was at work in my phone and then put it together. And I've had those epiphany moments in the car. I've had them in the shower. And then I kind of just write it on my phone and take notes that way. I've even had like kids give me inspiration, ideas, and I'm like, oh, wait, I got to go write this down. It's so funny because as a writer, you literally can get inspiration at any time, any moment. So you really have to be ready to kind of like take those notes.
myself, not even just in writing, I've had them, in other issues as well. Okay,
Right?
listeners, may I ask you to go back to bookpartypodcast.com? That's bookpartypodcast.com. Hit the subscribe tab on top, then enter your email address for our free newsletter to keep up with what's going on with bookpartypodcast.com, who may be next as an author, what books they're coming up with, so you can keep in touch. Now we are ready for the lightning round. So, Lisa,
Mm-hmm.
before you started your first book, was there anything holding you back from becoming an author?
Absolutely. I wanted to be an author since I was a kid, but, growing up, and I don't know if it's different now, but in the time that I grew up, you were always told like you can't make money. It's super, super hard. You're going to struggle if you even make it. Even with journalism, these were the things that I would hear in my ear. And that's what really held me back from even writing. And I would say too, on top of that, school. I feel like I've been in school forever. I have 2 master's degrees. I'm working on a doctorate for a second time. Like, I just finished my second term of my PsyD, and it was 10 weeks. And this week I wrote an entire book and the half of 2 other books now that school is done. So I definitely feel like there's kind of a lot of variables that kind of put a little damper in wanting to write and hold you back, So I definitely think it really depends on what's going on. But I'm so glad I never listened to those little birds in my ear and I decided to self-publish. And, now that school's done, hopefully over 2 more weeks, I'll get more writing done. That feeling is amazing.
Well, as an author, what was the best advice you'd ever received in
Oh
writing?
my gosh, network, get out there and network. I have a lot of author mentors that are great friends that are incredible authors too. And every single one of them has said network, get yourself out there, meet people, call the schools, call the principals, join those groups on Facebook, reach out to people through email and Instagram, just push to network, make connections and get yourself out there. And it's really why I met Brainstorm. It's really why, I started my podcast too. And that advice I really credit for where I am now, because it's not easy for me to get myself out there and just like, email people and be like, hey, come on my podcast, or email people and be like, hey, I like your book. Can I review it? Or even just to publish a book, like that's scary, So for me to do that, it takes a lot, but it really has helped to have those mentors and their advice and support.
Well, in this day and age, when you're networking, you're doing it, kind of an online networking.
Yeah.
And, I'm kind of old school. And if you had to network then, you didn't have anything online. You had to do it in person. And that was a lot more challenging. Number one, there could be distance. But after that, networking in person was a lot more challenging because you're pretty nervous when you're trying to do that. And,
Exactly.
it was a lot more difficult. Job interviews were done in person, and now they can do them online with Zoom, and it's crazy. Like when I was in the military, we did land navigation with a compass and a map, and now
Right?
they have GPS, sitting on their arm or something. It's crazy, the whole difference. Anyway, share one of your personal habits that contributes to your success.
Oh my goodness, that's a very good question. Personal habits. Contributes to my success. That's a very good question. I think it's just a habit that, what's a habit? I love to read. I absolutely love to read. I love to read books. And I think the fact that I've made it where I want to review books, I think that's really given me inspiration, encouraged me to keep going. And I think just having passion, wanting to do more has become something that drives me. It's definitely become something that I do on a daily basis. I think, just wanting to make sure I keep reading and writing, make sure that I stay on top of my own habits that are positive and good. I think that just all helps. Another habit I do is I do affirmations. I remind myself that, I'm good at this. I can do this. Keep pushing forward. That's probably a habit that I didn't even think of as a habit now, but affirmations are a really big one that I love to do that, has definitely become a habit that I would recommend. That's definitely pushed and helped me move forward.
Well, I would think because you're educated, you're pursuing your doctorate degree. For me, I would think a personal habit would be the ability to do research.
Yes.
Because you have to have that ability to do what you're doing as a professor, and the ability to do research. That's a personal habit that you have. It's just having those abilities, or you wouldn't be in the position that you're in.
I
would
agree. I
think.
didn't think about that.
Well, you're thinking more about
Totally right.
towards the writing side, and I'm thinking about just a personal habit in general. But how about?
I agree. I love doing research.
You wouldn't be doing it pursuing a doctorate degree unless you at least. Well, some people don't like doing it, but they wouldn't be pursuing that degree either. How about in regard to writing? Can you share with our listeners an internet resource that you have? Can you share that with our listeners?
Oh my gosh, I have so many. Probably one of my favorites is one of my author friends, Diana Catherine Flopa. Her website is called pagespromotions.com. And she is a huge resource in herself, on top of the fact that she has so much on her website. She does her own podcast where she has you read books. She has a marketing book out she published last year, which I would highly recommend. Can't remember the name of it, but it's amazing. It's on her website. I read the whole thing as an advanced reader copy, and I use her advice on a daily basis. She also has a virtual book festival she does that's really, really fun. She did it for the entire month of February, and it was like a whole game on top of, and it's free. It's free for readers to come on. It's like a $25 fee for us. There's like games and contests, and we read our book. So she is an amazing, amazing resource. pagespromotions.com. Diana Catherine Plopa, I would highly, highly recommend her website and even reaching out to her.
Good. So now we are entering the grand finale.
Yay.
So what I need is for Lisa to share the best ways to connect with your book and maybe be able to message you or follow you, whether it's website or Twitter or any kind of way to either follow you to find your book, whether it's on Amazon, whether it's however they can find your book, connect with you, and then after that share more about your book or books and of course what's coming up. So
absolutely,
go ahead and do that. Take your time.
Absolutely. My social media is Facebook Books by Lisa Jacovsky, and then my Instagram and Twitter are Diverse Inc. Books. I am in the process of transitioning to that name. You can also email me at lisa at lisajay.net. You are more than welcome to email me with questions about publishing, being an author, autism. I currently have started my own training business called Spectrum Insights. So if you have any questions about the field of psychology, any kinds of trainings, you can let me know. You can DM me on my social media. I have a website, lisajayauthor.com, but I am in the process of making a new one. So lots of fun things coming. I have Purrrfect as I Am that just came out about special needs kitties. It is narrated by a special needs cat with hydrocephalus, which is water on the brain, which is going to make the kitties smaller. They're basically kittens for life. They call them the littles. And his two friends, Bender and Bo, who happen to be Bender, who has 3 legs, and Bo, who is blind. They are very loosely inspired by real life cats that I follow. And every time one of that book or Rascal Cat Brothers is purchased, I donate $2 to a special needs cat rescue. There are 2 that I switch with each month. This month is actually in my home state, New Jersey. It is called Superhero Shaw's Society. It is amazing. One of my absolute favorites. I'm actually thinking about reaching out to partner with them very soon. But it would be amazing if you bought it because then I can donate to them and I do provide proof of that. Also Purrrfect, even though it's brand new, it is my favorite book I've written. The illustrations are absolutely stunning. I chose one person to do that. And with Rascal Cat, each illustration is a different style because it was done by different individuals with autism. But I really hope you buy both of them. My favorite cover is on Rascal Cat, and my favorite book with the illustrations is Purrrfect. I do have a new book coming out in end of August, and I may put it on for pre-order. It's called Spooky Ooky Dance Party. So it's also done by Brainstorm. Each illustration is done by different individuals with autism. And it's just a really, really fun Halloween book, my favorite holiday. I am promoting that right now. I also have a sale right now for Rascal Cat and Purrrfect, buy one, get one half off. You can email me for that. I do free shipping and I sign with a special message. So lots of fun things going on right now. And if you have any questions about illustrations, Brainstorm, you can contact them. They are willing to do more books. They're doing more of my books. They are absolutely amazing. You can contact me for their information. They are actually through the Center for Unlimited Learning, which is a college that trains individuals with autism and animation. And then they made Brainstorm Productions. I think it's about 2 years old now. They just opened their first brick and mortar in California. Congrats to them. It's so incredible. So they made it for them so they have a place to work after. So I absolutely love working with them. They got all 3 books done in such a quick time. I couldn't believe it. But I hope you guys will check that out, especially Purrrfect, because the illustrations are just stunning. The style that I chose, especially being special needs cats, I was very, very nervous. Because hydro cats, some people think they're weird looking. they got these big eyes and they're a little different and these big heads, but, like, I think they're adorable. So, I hope you will check that out and see that, having special needs doesn't slow them down. Bo, he may be blind, but he jumps to the top of that cat tree. And that is based on a real life cat that I follow from a foster now in his adopted home. You would never know that kitty is blind. And the little one with hydro, he may just get sleepy at times and need to go to the doctor, but he still can chase that red laser around. So, I hope you'll check those out and help support these amazing companies and Brainstorm and these special needs fosters.
So that book is Purrrfect I Am, right?
Purrrfect, Purrrr,
yeah,
triple R.
Purrrfect, right?
Yes, it is.
I Am. So if you want to find that on Amazon, you can make sure you use 3 R's. So Purrrfect, Purrrfect I Am. And it's Lisa at lisaj.net. Is that right?
Yep, that's correct.
Okay, I see. I remembered it. Lisa at lisaj.net is the email. I got to get a couple of those in there because I just happened to remember it off the top of my head. So I've emailed you more than once, I think. Okay. All right. So you want to, interested in autism and interested in what Lisa's got to say, or you want to follow Lisa, you got Twitter, you got Facebook, you've got quite a bit of things that you can do with that. Or if you just want to ask a question or want to find out some of those, you've got the email address again. It's Lisa at lisaj.net if you have a question, or Purrrfect, I Am, Purrrfect, I Am. Okay, so you're not going to want to miss our next show where we'll be sitting down with Casey Carter, the author of The Blacktop Kings, The Latchkey Kids, Shadows and Keyholes, and No Honor Among Thieves. We got some bestsellers in there, and most known for The Blacktop Kings. So please don't forget to go to the bookpartypodcast.com, hit the subscribe tab, enter your email for our free newsletter so you get the latest of what's happening for the upcoming podcast episodes. And that is it for us, so we are signing off.
You must not miss our next episode as we delve into a world of inspiration, entertainment, and thought-provoking insights. Join Michael T. on the next Book Party podcast and experience a new adventure, a new story, and a complete immersion into the world of Pages Unveiled, Chronicles of the Writing Journey.